Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 840. My name is Christine and on today's episode I am showing you the Bazzill Basics Heritage Collection and Wendy Vecchi's embossing pastes. Today I am showing you the Bazzill Basics Heritage Kit Collection as well as Wendy Vecchi's embossing pastes. So I'm going to start just by talking a little bit about the Heritage Kit. I love this kit because of these fun papers here with the chevron, the clocks, brocades, the text and that. But on the opposite sides, if you were to do any sort of heritage scrapbooking, it's great because you have this page here where you can add like journaling cards. Then this one is great. It has, again, like little library cards and this certifies that on this date, it's sort of like a merit certificate and that. But then you have your family trees. So there's that one. There's this one where you can add photos. A second one like that. And another journaling card. So if you're doing any sort of scrapbooking for your family trees, these pages are great. You can put all the information in and add it to your book. In the kit, you also get cardstock to coordinate. So there's this bright white piece. And then you have, this is like a smooth cream piece. You have some browns. But then what I also loved were these textured cardstocks. So this one, I use these in the project where I've sanded it so you can see the texture a bit more. But there's dots and little flowers. So you can sand these down to show the core. So I'll show you that in the project. So here's the first project. What I did is I took the paper here and added it to the base of my project. So then here in this heart, you can see that was that cardstock with the dots. And in the butterflies, you have the dots and the other little texture. And I cut out that design as well and these little flourishes. Now this here and the letters, in the kit you also get this where you can cut out different shapes out of your paper and layer them up for some little heritage templates. But what I did, of course, is I used the embossing paste with it there. And then in the kit you get these words. So I picked a few of the words and just sort of embedded them into the embossing paste. Then I use the embossing paste here with some templates and there with a template and there. So I use silver, gold, this is the white, and this is the black embossing pastes. And this is the Viva pearl pens I used to make the Viva color pearl pens to make the little design up the side there and down here. So here I took the paper to make a little border here to focus in on my design. This again was that textured cardstock and then a couple of the little word stickers. And then I used the embossing pastes up here for the stars. This is a new stencil from Claudine Helmuth. I used the word love with the black and then here's the silver. And what I did to start is I took the white embossing paste and I first covered it and stamped into it. So there's some texture here and there's letters here and texture here. So my base of this was the white embossing paste and then I built on top of it. And then on this page here, again, I used a couple pieces of paper there. And then this here is, you take these hearts and that was the leftovers. So, and then I put the words mother, father, daughter inside. And then I used the black embossing paste here. The other thing about this page is all these things. After I had done my stenciling here, I came over, put it upside down, and to take off the excess. So that's where all this neat texture underneath comes in. That was from me taking the excess off my stencils. to form this background texture. There was like that arrow and that. And then I added in the black on top of it. So that shows you a few ways to use these products together. Of course, you know, with every paper you can use them for card making and scrapbooking as well. I just like to do art journaling. So I'm just going to show you quickly the pastes. So the pastes come in the black, a metallic silver, a metallic gold, and the white. So I'm going to use some gold, I think. You open it up. It looks like that. I have this card I had just used to take ink off a page, and I have this heart stencil here from Crafter's Workshop, designed by Dina Wakely. Now you can use a palette knife when you're working with embossing paste, but I'm using a cut up card. So I'm just taking some of the paste on, holding my stencil down, and then just pulling it across. And however you put this on, that is how it will dry. It's going to give you that texture. So if you want it completely smooth, you have to make sure it's smooth before it dries. If you want the texture, then you just put it on unevenly. I like texture, so I'm not being too concerned. I just want to get some of it into these spots. Now I'm doing this on top of a water medium, like the stains, so it may pick up a bit of that color because it is re-wetting the medium. But if you do it thick, you won't really see the color come through. If you do it thin, you might see some of that color. So you can always just go over with a bit more if you don't want that color. Something like that, and then you pick it up. You have all those great little hearts. I can maybe take it off here where if I don't want it there. And that is how you use these pastes. They're really easy to use. You have to set it aside to dry. They dry fairly quick. I'm not exactly sure the time, but you want to give it some time to fully set and dry. And it's going to dry with that texture there that we've put on. And as I said, it comes in the 4 colors, and this is the gold, and then silver, white, and black. And that is Wendy Vecchi's Embossing Pastes and the Bazzill Heritage Kit. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you the Jelly Arts Printing Plate Techniques iBook and online class. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.